I don't think that Twitch liked my MC stuff. I think they just decided to ban me for a moment. Most likely. Alright, so blocks dot text. Exactly, exactly. Pretty much. Alright. Exactly. Every single word. Alright, and then here we're gonna have basically entity, and actually just let's say we're gonna have a block, and it's gonna say block. So we're gonna looping through all the blocks, and then we're taking every text. Text. Do I have actually low dash remove white space? Yeah, we actually don't need low dash, but since I have it, let's see if there's, yeah, I guess we can just use regex, right? Yeah. That's amazing, man. I guess that's how it is today. That's how it is today. Same with those people on LinkedIn who are trying to sell something to you always. Hey Alex, how are you doing? And you already know they're trying to sell something. It's unreal. Depends where you are and what type of job, right? It can be hard, yes, especially today. There's a lot of competition and stuff. No, I know what you mean, but that's exactly also what I mean. Programming is a very wide, yeah. Web development is probably the easiest to get a job in. If you're in embedded programming, right? Exactly. It's a German Weiss beer, basically. Nothing special, but it's a good one. It's a solid one. All right. Yeah, it's a good beer. It's cheap as well. It's like super cheap. All right, so I guess the thing is, the only thing, I'm not really worried about this. I'm really only about how expensive this is gonna be, because keep in mind, every time you press a character, we're gonna run all this, right? So that's probably a mistake, and we're gonna optimize that. So what we're gonna do is when you press that submit, I guess, then we're gonna run this stuff. So, but let's now just implement it, and then we're gonna worry about optimizing it, right? So we're gonna optimize when we make it work first, right? That looks better. Jay, thank you very much for the follow, man. I appreciate it. Okay, so we're kind of getting there, fiddling there almost, right? I think the mistake we're making here is that we forgot to remove this hash. We don't need this here because this is just a text. So let's not do things inaccurately. So now we're kind of, I think, almost getting somewhere. Yeah, I think pretty much, yeah. So we can see now this is the state that we would invalidate this form. So you can see that there's only now 2 tags, there's no text, therefore they match. If I add some text, they no longer match, so there is text. This is the best logic I can come up with now. Now the only thing that I'm unhappy with this now is primarily just and we can optimize this, so this is super optimized, meaning we will just call this not, so we're gonna call this on form submit, and then if its form is invalid, if this is missing text returns true, then we're simply gonna, so we're not gonna be running it on every character press, because that's ridiculous, right? That's ridiculous, right? So we have this handle create here, right? And then we will, yeah, we'll see now. But I think we are almost kind of there, right? So what we're gonna do now, right? We'll simply say, you know, return mentions is equal to text, right? This is, in my opinion, how this should work. And then, of course, we run this only once, and then it's optimized. I mean, optimized, right? We don't care about the complexity of this at all. We just care that it runs once, because it's arbitrary amount of text, and there's no bottleneck there. But it kind of would be horrible that every time I press a character, it runs it executes all of this logic every time, right? That's not ideal, right? Give me a second here. I will add the tags, got it. Kind of like basically, so now when we're creating a tag, a tweet, a thought, right? I don't want to allow, you shouldn't be able to come here and just add tags and post, right? And you can do that now, kind of, right? Actually, can you? Yeah, I think we messed something up. So that's not the right behavior. So I want to make sure that this is not possible, but this is a rich text editor with an API, so there's no a boolean or something to pass. So you have to write, this is a very custom logic that I have here. So this kind of is going to check if the text isn't there by simply comparing some attributes on this object, right? We're just going to leave this here for a moment, and let's just say here, whatever, debug is missing, whatever, doesn't matter, who cares. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that, right? I am happy with that. Now what I'm not happy with is I mean, let's go to the actual thoughts tab where we are invoking this, where we're actually using this component, right? Let's go to the thoughts tab. Where's handle create? We have, so this is where our handle create is. So I have an idea, right? Thank you very much, Hanulak, for kind words. Appreciate it. So okay, so I have an idea, right? So it's clear that we have to localize this creation as well to the actual to the thought component itself, but also we need a callback from the parent as well. So we'll need this handle create as a callback, but we also need it there, I think. Yeah, that's pretty horrible though, but let's do it, right? So because some of this logic doesn't belong. Okay, fine, let's do that. So let's grab this fella and let's put this event handler over here, right? Sure, that's fine. Let's call this, let's just rename it for a second so it doesn't complain. Or let me just think this through once more. Or it's just, this is now more philosophical, going against my own feelings here. Let's try one thing first here, right? It's just like I feel that, right, like I'm leaking, I'm exposing information outside of the component, and this information is strictly really related to this editor component itself, and I'm doing that now because my creation is happening here, right? So it's now either really moving this create inside, yeah, nah, just feels wrong, right? Moving this from here to here, right? Because you don't want to leak, like this is missing text, this is strictly related to the actual component that we're doing now. So moving it out would mean that if I, even though I'm probably not going to use this component elsewhere, still kind of feels wrong, right? So let's see how can we do this nicely, right? So we go here, we kind of so let's remove some of the logic from here. So let's get rid of this, let's get rid of that, let's call this handle create 2, let's get rid of that, let's get rid of that, right? Interesting. Oh shit, I was removing stuff from the wrong place. Should have done it here, yeah. So once we reach this point, yeah. All right, I have an idea maybe to satisfy my personal kind of, to not go against my own feelings. So actually what I'm gonna do, so when this is the button that's supposed to submit this thing, right? Let's try one thing. And then what did we use here? Draft to row, right? Was it? No, editor to row, yeah. Then I would pass it editor state, right? Something like that. If is missing text, la la la. Text. Nice. Beautiful. Like that. Like that. It's great. It's actually very nice. All right. Object is not valid JSON. Okay. Editor to row. Oh, my bad, my bad. Parse the wrong thing. Parse the wrong thing. Should parse the output of this function instead. JSON parse this. All right, try that again. Debug is missing. Yep, true. I add some text. Well, technically it's not missing text now, so... Okay, no, actually we're good, kinda, right? Aren't we? Wait. Missing text? So, not missing text, so why is it not posting? Let's get rid of that. Is missing text. I think we're almost there. Handle create. Let's see. Handle create. Okay, got it. Got it. So what we forgot to do is we didn't pass the event here. And we should almost be good. We should almost be good. Let's see. Missing text. Missing text. Bam, there we go, right? Okay, let's try a bit more complex case here. Okay, still get it, right? So it collects all the blocks, concatenates them, orders them. Still works. I add a text here. Getting a million errors. Let's see what's happening. Validation error. Okay. Because I'm passing the same tags. Damn, okay. So that's another thing, right? Let's write that down. User should not be able to add the same tag twice. A tag more than once. Kind of like we're getting there. I mean, we're now slamming this MVP kind of board. So kind of once we're getting there. I think very soon. Depending how much we do this week and next week, it could be already the week after the next one. Let's see where we get to, right? It's gonna really boil down to that. Okay, and then one kinda, so let's do one clever thing. Last thing is, so if I actually go here and I pass the form state, right? So let's just say set form state is form.set form state. What we can do basically here where's my what type of contributions handle like exactly? Oh, so I can't use this one, and I'm not really exporting set errors, am I? I could technically export this from my custom hook. I mean, kind of like, to be very frank with you, I haven't thought about it, right? Honestly, why not, right? It would really boil down, it would be up to me and the rest. Well, I say me because I'm currently the only technical person working on this, of enabling that by writing code in a specific way. So for example, if you want to contribute to the API of our Fastify, you could write a plugin or something like that, right? I don't think that that this project is ever going to be fully open source, meaning I just put those repositories on GitHub, right? I don't think so, right? But in many other ways, I mean, you can help. If you want to contribute the most, you can help by being on the platform, writing on it, writing articles, using it, spreading a word, sharing ideas. This sort of stuff is honestly way more valuable than like helping with design. Hey, it would, just trying to genuinely discover if there was ever some feature that you actually lacked, or right. So those types of things would be invaluable. It would be as useful as if you wrote code, right? That's good. But genuinely, thank you for asking, man. Thank you. Help is always welcome. I don't know if you ever watched that video, famous video by Steve Jobs, where he explains that actually majority of people never ask for help. Like and I agree with him. He explains basically how actually most people are willing to help. Like most people, when you ask them for help, they're gonna be very happy to give you a hand. It's just like most people don't actually, we don't ask each other for help, and it's true, right? So I mean, anyone here who is watching, of course, like what could you get back from helping? I cannot tell you now, man. I have personally, when it comes to any material gain, zero from this. I'm having basically fun with the rest of you here. So will something be possible in the future? Who knows? Maybe not, right? But certainly this platform is gonna go live and it's gonna be active, and it's gonna for sure find its place online. I have no doubts about that, right? If it's ever gonna generate profit, as long as I can sustain it, right, with hosting and all of that stuff, I don't actually care much, right? So as long as it can live, that would be super cool. I would be happy personally, right? If it can live. I have an idea. I think it's kind of a little, it's not a hack to say, but I might have an idea. So what if I, when there is an error here, what if I say set form state? This is just a clever way of me using my own tools, and I say content null, and then I'm basically explicitly forcing a wrong in type for my, so I'm expecting now my JSON schema to throw an error. Let's see actually. Okay, no, it didn't like that. Okay. Let's try this. Okay, no, let's actually see what is it complaining about, because I yeah, sure. No. I have an idea. I promise. So it's gonna be editor state. So basically, but I think there's gonna be one problem with this. I think that it's gonna clear out the whole form, and I don't think that's gonna work out. Yeah. Good evening, Gambit. Good, man. Good, pretty good, I would say. Just now fiddling with yeah, just fiddling with stuff now, honestly. Yeah. Thing is, we can't really create a empty state, but it would be nice if I can create an editor state, create with content, but I wanna, can I like pass it an empty content like this? That would be something I think we need here. No, it doesn't like that, does it? Nah, I don't think we can do it. I mean, but it's fun, honestly. Like, okay. So, I mean, okay, so what I'm gonna do, right? Let's not overcomplicate it, because this is starting to be a pretty chunky component that handles a lot of different stuff, which is fine. We'll need basically a local state here. And it's completely fine. That's what state is for. Let's say const has no text error. Then over here we're gonna say if is missing, set has no text error to true. And then we'll have to concat whatever. Yeah, but let's just as a demo here, if it has no text, you cannot create a thought without text. Okay. Yep. Now this is not gonna clear out, that's kind of horrible, but you can see that actually now it works, right? Yeah. Yeah, there we go, right? Good evening, SP Plant, or whatever, however I should call it. Yes, yes, of course. We have the profile pages, right? With articles and stuff, with comments and all of that stuff. Liking comments, replying to comments. We have the tags page, you can follow them, you can follow people. You have top authors per tags. We can obviously write articles. You have dashboards for your own dashboard for fiddling with your account, uploading avatar, following tags. Basically, there's, how would I say it? It's not, there's enough, if I can say, for start, right? So there's the feed. This is kind of like tweets and stuff with infinite scroll. This we just have to now, we're refactoring something, right? And of course there's like landing page and signing up, resetting password and all sorts of stuff like that, right? This sort of stuff, right? So it's kind of coming together, right? It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. There's a massive difference when you're building something as a side project and when you're building something as a production ready stuff. Entirely two different worlds. Entirely two different worlds. How long have I been coding it for? I mean, let me see how I can accurately answer that questions without lying. Thank you very much for the follow, by the way. So basically, this version of this, so just to, because you're a new follower and new viewer here, this project, this idea is like 6-7 years old. This idea was created in one hackathon in Sweden. When I worked with Sweden, we went to some boat and we created this idea, la la la. Anyway, 7 years forward, we haven't actually been doing it for 7 years, so I restarted it on my own. So maybe, how long would it be? How long have I been streaming, basically? Maybe for around 3 months, I stream maybe 2-3 hours every night, and not every night, depends how tired and stuff I am. So I guess in simple words, not long, right? Not too long to say, right? And also, we did a lot of stuff in the stream. I mean, I built all of this with MongoDB, and then 1 week in the stream I realized, yeah, not gonna do. Then I rewrote everything in 2 or 3 streams in Postgres, right? But it's not long, right? But the idea is very long, very old, right? But it didn't take that long. I mean, if I don't have a full-time job and all that stuff, it would have maybe gone, it would have gone maybe faster, maybe it wouldn't even happen. So I don't know. Maybe the reason why it's happening is because I have all that. So who knows? Ambit, when I'm interviewing people, I don't focus much on necessarily technical challenges, right? When I interview with people, I generally just talk about programming and about, I don't know, right? Interviewing really boils down to personality, and not everybody is capable to be an interviewer, right? Or the one who interviews, right? So it really depends, right? But generally, I think interviewing should be fun, it should be friendly, it should be a talk, not interrogation, right? And if you ever feel interrogated during an interview, then it's a bad interview, right? So what I like when it comes to interviews, I like to have a very nice, just chill talk. That's why whenever I start an interview, I just talk some stupid stuff, just off-topic stuff, just to kind of try to get the person on the other end to just forget that they're inside of the interview, right? Because no sane person on this planet likes interviews, right? They're very formal. You're supposed to come there, say all the greatest thing about yourself, how you want to die for the company and stuff like that, right? And of course, now depending, right, on for what would I hire, right? Like if I would hire a senior developer and then junior developer, the questions would obviously differ very much. yeah, I don't know, you would have to be kind of right more specific, but I can just tell you in general it really depends from interview to interview, and it depends where the interview goes. It really boils down to the person on the other end. Sometimes you know, when I interview people, it feels like I know the person on the other end my whole life, and it just goes smooth, and it's, you can see it from first 10 minutes that the person is great. Then sometimes it really depends, but my personal goal always in those is to never forget that how horrible it is to be on the other side, right? It's not easy. It's easy to interview someone. You're in the position. You're there. You know you don't care. But I think as an interviewer, if any of you are interviewing people, I think the most important stuff is to kind of it's to be a human being, right? Not forget that you've been on that side of the table not very long ago, right? So that's in my opinion very important. And I don't care about React a bit. I would never ask anyone about React like that, right? I would ask people about composition in general, how they write their functions and code. React, I couldn't care less, right? If you know React or not or Angular, I absolutely don't care, right? Because React is a tiny tool and it cannot define someone's knowledge in programming, right? So when I see jobs like senior React developer, I want to slap myself in the face, right? We are inventing job titles based on tools, right? And that's ridiculous. So I would never ask those types of questions, right? Like, I don't ask framework specific questions to that degree, right? But you cannot write like, I've been using JavaScript. I think I wrote my first JavaScript code 15-16 years ago. You cannot really learn JavaScript like that, right? Or you cannot learn any language like that, right? Of course, you should know what closures are, how prototypal inheritance work, what is the difference between standard and like you don't need that, right? You cannot. It's impossible to learn it that way, right? Like there's some concepts that you have to understand because they're practical, but then you cannot learn the whole spec, right? All right, so let's kind of get back to let's get back to coding a bit, and then we're gonna get. So what did we do? So we almost kind of did this, right? Didn't we? You cannot create an art thought without a text. All right, cool. So yeah, we have now this little issue. I guess the issue, right? That this is internal now. So of course we could solve this easily if we would lift. Pretty much what Nora says, yes. The thing is, but the thing is, right, like it's all, think about sports, right? You cannot become tennis expert by watching someone play, right? Programming is really, when we talk about seniority, right, we primarily talk about experience building products. And when we talk about this experience, we don't necessarily just mean writing code, because code is just one segment of the job. As when you're a programmer, it's not that you're just writing code. You're being in the meetings. You're standing in front of a whiteboard. You're contributing to your company with ideas. So when it comes to those things, programming isn't just sitting and writing, JavaScript, right? This is some percentage, maybe 50, 70%, but the rest of it is communicating, being articulated, knowing how to listen, knowing how to write. So all of those things are considered experience, and they contribute to the level of whatever your rank or whatever you want to call it is. So if you want to get good at programming in general, you just have to build things, right? And you have to work on projects. You want to try to get yourself to work with other people, because the hardest thing about programming is is really working with people, working with projects, organizing yourself, figuring out, how to organize your tasks, how to there's so many aspects of it. I don't know the percentage, but it seems right. Yeah, exactly. It is really about thinking, Sako. I agree with you, right? So you cannot learn, you cannot learn language details. They are not relevant to that. There's some language details that you have to know in every language, right? There's some either gotchas or core parts of the language that you have. For example, if you're writing Node.js, you have to know how, concurrency in Node works. If you're writing Go, well, you then have to know how the channels and stuff like that work, right? If you're writing C++, you need to know pointers. There's with every language and environment, there's some common or almost like must know things, but you don't have to know the whole standard library of I don't know, C++, right? That's not what defines you as a good or bad engineer, right? What defines you as a good developer is the product of your work, right? So if you know every single detail of the language, but the software that you build still is actually bad, then it doesn't really matter, right? Okay, so I guess actually what I'm gonna do, it seems, since we're actually getting the error message from the above, I have an idea. Sure, it's fine. So what we can actually do, right? We have this on editor state change, right? Yeah, this component is kind of growing a bit. That's what it is. So let's say here constant change, or let's say handle editor change. Then we're gonna say right, this is how we can actually reset the error once you start typing again, right? Let's see, I don't know. What is it complaining about? Ah, sure. Yep, there we go. Solved, right? So that was our issue. Yep. Okay. Yeah. I think did we make the tags not required? Let's take a look. So yeah, that's now a bit strange, right? Let's see why is that happening. Handle form. Ah, you mean Nora, when you click like submit that you can't click it anymore, like no longer? That's a good point. I don't think so. You mean like when I click once, so let's say that we're in a good state, right? Nah, that's a very good point. Let's do that. That's a very, very good point. So we have is creating, right? So we can use that. Thank you very much. Very good point. So let's just say disabled is creating, right? Very good point. Yep. Yep, that's good. Perfect. Now, maybe last thing, and then we can move to something else. Hopefully we're now getting done with this. Handle create. Yeah.